talked about different kind of groups and throughout this session really. One of the things we haven't really talked about, and we're still not going to talk about, I'm afraid because of time, is about diversity in terms of ethnicity and how in terms of the UK that's a real kind of driver for us to make sure that our staff represent the communities that we're in, our audience represent our communities in, and our programme represents the communities that we are in as well. But I'm going to talk particularly about another consortium, because we love a consortium in the UK, because actually it's about how collectively you can make some change. And one of the big changes that is ongoing now is the fact that if you are a disabled performer, you are hardly ever involved in a production. There is no doubt about that. There is a kind of fear of employing anybody in a wheelchair because of the challenges that may bring to you. I'm doing gross generalisations here to make the point, actually. So we're working collectively with a group of 6 theatres, which is really led by an inspirational theatre in Ipswich, which is in the east of England, a small kind of market town that has a great theatre, but run by an incredible woman, actually, called Sarah Holmes, actually, and she has been involved with disability and diversity throughout her kind of working life. And our project is called Ramps on the Moon, because we believe that at some point we will have some ramps on the moon that we can get people to the moon with our kind of work, really. So this is absolutely about creating step changes in organisations to make sure that there is more employment opportunities for everybody who is deaf or disabled, performers or kind of creative teams or kind of staff in organisations, because we employ, I think, 1 or 2 people out of 150 people. Again, that's not a great percentage. And again, we are, unfortunately, we're probably normal for the rest of the organisation. And also, there are companies that exist like Grey Eye, which everyone knows, Jenny Seeley, she's an inspirational kind of leader. And she has kind of helped kind of shape this. I won't go through this, it's quite wordy this, so I'm going to cut to the chase really. That actually this is about offering training and opportunities for our staff to be more aware about how to support and work together with people with disabilities really. We have an agent for change working with us, so that's someone who is disabled who works with us at the moment. We're actually recruiting for our current one at the moment, who's kind of helping us understand, who works with our audiences as well, to make sure that we kind of can lose some of the fear, some of the kind of barriers that we have maybe put up ourselves without realising. We are in the middle of some disability awareness training for all our staff, and we're also rolling out a kind of deaf awareness as well. And we all have been taught some basic sign language as well, which has been a really inspirational, and it's great to see my staff kind of using this kind of as we go really. But the bottom line is we are creating work that will, that the deal is that at least 50% of the cast are disabled or deaf as well. And although we're great on a show that we might say that we do a sign performance, a caption performance, an audio described performance, with the performances of Ramps on the Moon, they have all those things are involved in every aspect of the performance. So I'm going to cut to the picture. I'm hoping I'm just going to, yeah. So this is the production of The Government Inspector, which was happened here last year, and this is the company. It's also big scale. So this is not about doing a show with 5 or 6 people in it. The sort of deal is it's a sort of 20 to 26 size of the audio cast. So again, so it's a pretty big kind of number. So this was The Government Inspector, which you all know, that show. And as you can see, the cast were kind of mixed. The show had live captioning. There were 2 people who were signing. They were also audio describing live during the performance. As well, we had an app that people could look at their own subtitles as well, and their own boosted their kind of hearing as well. So it was just completely accessible performance. And it was pretty mind-blowing. I think there's no doubt about that. And it wasn't, it was it's kind of an accessible kind of title. Next, I think tonight actually, or tomorrow night, opens in Ipswich the next production, which is Tommy, the musical, and The Who's Tommy, which you all know, I'm sure, and this has been, I love that, reborn for a new generation really. So again, there's a company rehearsing now, which over half of the company are disabled or deaf as well, and they're producing a kind of musical. Pete Townsend has adjusted the play slightly, which is going to be quite interesting, and has written a new song as well. So I'm intrigued to kind of see this as well. But again, it's a sort of very big demonstration of making sure that theatres kind of understand that there is work available now, that if you are disabled or if you work backstage as well. And it's 7 years, so we will be doing our own production in a few years' time now. So each theatre partner takes a production on and then tours it to the other partners as well. So it's a pretty significant thing. It was the biggest Arts Council grant that they have ever given for touring theatre as well. It was £2.5 million, I want to say. So again, pretty significant. They've only funded it for 3 years, so there's another 3 years to come. And so we are now, on next week, actually looking at how we can raise the money to be able to do the project. So basically, it's a good budget for the show. Because again, if you are a disabled performer, you need some different support. You might have to have a kind of an assistant or your own signer, and there's a huge amount of kind of learning of working with everyone together, really. But it's given us kind of confidence. We've adjusted our programming now, so Rob's first show, Julius Caesar, I think you have 2 disabled people in the show, which again is just great, that's 2 more than we've ever had. I think that's safe to say, in my 7 years here. And the next production is Tribes, which is about a deaf couple, and there's 2 deaf people in that show as well. So again, it's pretty significant that we've kind of changed our kind of programming for that. And there we are, finished. I thought that was a bit quick. There's quite a lot of words in there, and I'm very happy to send it to you kind of later on, but I'm just aware of the time now.